of the data that they looked at in terms of periods where Bitcoin had unusual price rises and where they could identify something in the creation of new tethers that sort of went beyond the traditional analysis?
Okay, well, again, most people have looked at issuance of tether.
Right.
They went a step farther. They looked at the tether moving from Bitfinance, which is the exchange controlled by the people who control tether, to other exchanges. And they were able to do that by looking at wallets and addresses. I don't want to get too technical here, but you can kind of guess from that where the tether is flowing. They said when there are big tether flows and there are big Bitcoin flows, they picked the 87 periods with the biggest flows, and they said on average Bitcoin goes up 1.2% in the next hour.
So they looked at the 87 periods of the biggest tether flows.
Tether and Bitcoin flows, right?
Combined,
right.
And they found, and you said 1.4%?
1.2% per hour in the next hour. Now, if you add all those together, that comes up to about a 250% increase in price. But the silly thing about that is that assumes the manipulation is permanent. That assumes the entire 1.2% was due to tether and that it never went back down when they sold the Bitcoin or when things went down.
And did most of these, was this over 2017?
It was, yes, March 2017 to March 2018.
And of course, we know that at least for the last several months of 2017, it was just an insane several months for the price rise of Bitcoin.
It was an exciting, yes.
Exciting, another highly technical way to characterize it, which 1.2% is not even that.
In an hour, yes, that's just not for Bitcoin. If it was S&P 500, 1.2%, something we get excited about, a big hour. Bitcoin is an ordinary hour.
Now, finally, if you were to continue this line of research, you want to continue to look at manipulation, did the paper give you any ideas of sort of what the next questions you would be or the next tests you would run?
Actually, the most convincing part of the paper didn't really make most of the news reports. They did point out that when Bitcoin hits $500 round figures, there seems to be some funny stuff going on. That was much more convincing statistically. So that says to me somebody's doing kind of some technical analysis, trying to set up some resistance levels. That's a little bit different from kind of gross manipulation where you're just pushing the price up. So that means maybe they didn't push Bitcoin up to $20,000, but maybe they held it at $17,500 for 5 minutes longer than it should have been.
Give me 1 second here, guys. I'm having a little default. Give me 1 sec. All right, so this is really interesting that we're talking about this. Obviously, Bitcoin and Tether have been, there is some arguments that there's been market manipulation. And it's just interesting that they can't really prove anything. The data, like they've stated in a previous video, there's a lot of smoke but no fire. But just be careful when you're investing in stuff like this. I really do feel like you should do some sort of research. And let me know your thoughts about this. And I will talk to you guys soon.